All right, Dune, part 2. Disclaimer right away. I did not like part 1. I didn't like the first Dune that much. I was bored and I was confused. I think I was one of the few people when it came out who said like, yeah, I didn't really like it. Yes, it looked very good, but story-wise and everything like that, I was like, not my cup of tea. However, Dune 2 drastically improved from the first Dune. And I kept an open mind going in, and I thought it was really good. Dune 2 honestly surpassed my expectations. I didn't expect to enjoy this movie as much as I did. Now, I do have to offer another disclaimer in the form of a story. I saw Dune for the first time days and days ago, but I had worked so much that I had only had like 2 hours of sleep. So in the movie, there were some parts where I was like dozing off. And at the end of the film, I thought, I don't know if I enjoyed that movie or not because of my mental state. So just saw it again, had to see it again before making the review. That's why this is a little delayed. But yeah, no, it's a great movie. Like, in all honesty, it's a really, really great movie. I do have my critiques about certain parts of it, but overall, wow, it was like, really, it was a really great movie. And in fact, I left the movie feeling like, okay, so like, that's how like cinema is. Like, that's how it's supposed to look. That's how it's supposed to feel. That's how actors are supposed to act. Like, all around this movie, I feel like was a pretty exceptional movie. Now, to first start, I got to talk about the cast. And this is just going to be raw. I'm just going to speak because I just saw it. I'm just going to speak from how I feel. I'll clap again for the cast. Every single person in this film, even down to like the background actors when there's just a ton of stuff going on, nailed it. Like, there's some really great movies out there that I critique so badly because the background actors, people in the back and stuff, are doing stupid things and it doesn't look real. I would say every part of this movie really did feel real. And I think a lot of that has to do with, one, it has to do with the acting. Timothée Chalamet, when he first kind of appeared on the scene, I was like, yeah, I can tell he's talented. I don't know if he's there yet as far as like a superstar, but honestly, I saw him in Wonka and that kind of won me over. I was like, I actually do really like him now. And in this, he is phenomenal. Everyone, Rebecca Ferguson. I love Rebecca Ferguson. I have loved her for a very long time. I think she's a phenomenal actress. I think she's gorgeous. And I think her skills are just fantastic. And I think her being the Reverend Mother in this was, one, just a really cool story point, and two, her acting for it was really phenomenal. Everybody did a really, really good job, in my opinion. I don't feel like I have to sit here and talk a lot about how good the acting was because it's phenomenal all around. Just everybody did an incredible job. Now the story, it was so much easier to follow. It was so much easier to follow. And obviously I have not read the Dune books. I remember, I have read the first Dune, but I was young. I was like 13. And I don't remember much of it. Like, there's some things where I'm watching, I'm like, okay, yeah, I do remember some of this for the first and the second one, but I don't remember much. So this is basically me going in raw, not knowing a lot about the movie. I know I do a lot of research for movies before they come out just because of my main job, but this one was very truly a fresh experience and everything delivered for me. The story was great. I love the story. I love the conflict. I love how just the religion part was in it as well. And eventually, Timothée Chalamet, his character, really just grows to accept kind of this prophecy that's like a made up prophecy. But now, he drinks the water of life and he sees it all and he believes that he's essentially the Messiah, right? That's coming and he's going to save these people. I like the story through and through. There were some parts in the beginning where I felt dragged on a little bit. They could have been a little bit shorter. I understand the world building, right? And that's fine. Like, I get it. It didn't really take away from the overall movie for me. However, I do feel like some parts in the beginning could have been a little bit shorter. And I feel like parts at the end could have been a little bit longer. Just how I feel about it. But I want to talk about how it looked visually, because I feel like I haven't seen a film look this good in a really, really long time. This is the only way I can really describe this feeling. when you have such epic scenes, like, you know, them attacking with the sandworms, them riding on top of them coming in, typically you can tell it's CGI, even if it looks good, right? Even if it looks good, you're like, oh, wow, that's some good looking CGI. In this movie, I didn't think that at all. I just thought this looks amazing, right? Because you can either think, wow, this is bad CGI, or wow, this is really good CGI. I was so immersed in it that I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just like, whoa, I was just blown away. And it's been a while since I felt like that. It really has. It's been a long time since I really felt blown away with how something looked on screen. It's done exceptionally well. And the score is fantastic. The music that accompanies this really, really, really pulls you in. That on top of the story, what's about to happen, and the actors and how phenomenal they were, it just really all brings you in. And it reminded me of how it felt to watch something that is truly good, great, fantastic, that's truly that takes you away from everything else and just brings you into the movie. That's how I felt. That's the best way I can describe it, is I was in the movie. When things happened, I gasped, you know, I laughed. You know, Javier Bardem, his performance is incredible. And I think he adds a comedic aspect to the film that's not even like, you know, he's not even trying to be funny. He just adds it. You know, when he's like, he's too humble to admit that he is the Messiah. Like, it's so good. His character is so great. Everyone's great. But for me, this movie truly grabbed you and pulled you in, with everything being phenomenal about it. And that's what I like really, really loved about this movie, is the feeling that it gave me. It reminded me how good cinema can be, how good storytelling can be, how good movies can look. And I think this is just a home run, a grand slam, really. They knocked it out of the park. Now at the end, you know, when they're all attacking, it felt, the only way I can describe this is kind of easy. It looked phenomenal. I loved it. Visually, it's just stunning. But, you know, when the Fremen are attacking, it just kind of seemed like I'm like, why did you wait this long to do this? Why did you wait for a Messiah? You clearly have all the power that you need. Granted, they did get like the nukes and stuff, but I understand at the same time the motivation that comes with, you know, having this Messiah figure who's supposed to be, you know, the one to save them. And them believing, and then him believing, and then convincing everybody else, I am him. And then they all rally together and they all overcome it. I get that. And that's why I'm okay with it. I would have had it be longer, maybe a little bit more of a struggle, right? Some struggle, because they overtook everything pretty dang easily up until that fight, you know, the 1v1 fight, which was Austin Butler. Like, he did a phenomenal job. But his fight with Timothée Chalamet at the end, ooh, that was an incredible fight. And the way everything happened, I'm actually looking forward to Dune 3. If they make it, they haven't confirmed it yet. But at the end of the first Dune, I was like, you're making me wait like for a second movie. And I knew it was a part one, but I still had that thought, like, I have to wait to finish like a movie that I thought wasn't that good. Now, Dune 2, I'm like, I can't wait. And I really hope there is a part 3. I really do. So Dune 1 was just like an okay movie for me. Dune 2 is like, it's up there with some of the best movies I think that have been made. I really do. I thought everything was really great. But what did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? I've heard the critics have been pretty good to it, and I've heard the audience just absolutely loves it. It's like the #1 now on Rotten Tomatoes, which is, I can see why. I think it deserves it. I think there are other movies that deserve it as well. And overall, I'd probably give this like an 8.5, 9 out of 10, with the criticisms being the beginning dragged a little bit and the ending was a little too quick. But that's it, really. Besides that, everything on point. Phenomenal movie. Can't wait for Dune Part 3. Hope they make it. Let me know your thoughts. What did you think? Did you like it? Did you not? Tell me in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channels for more reviews and other awesome videos. And I'll catch you all in the next one.